Good morning, students. My name is Praveen Kumar. I'm working as PGT English at JNV1 Malkangiri, Odisha. Today, we are going to learn a beautiful lesson which is related to history called The Last Lesson, written by author Alphonse Daudet. It is from Flamingo Textbook in English for class 12th. In this video, I'm going to discuss four things. One, introduction, that is background of the story. What is the reason for writing the story? Next, I'll be discussing about the author. Third, I'm going to explain the lesson in detail, paragraph wise. And fourth, a brief summary of the lesson according to Alfonso Daudet. Okay, students, I would like to suggest you that please watch this video in desktop or laptop so that you may not miss the beautiful terms, beautiful lines, dialogues used by author. Okay, hope you follow that one. Let's begin with the first part, that is introduction of the lesson, the last lesson. In introduction part, we'll discuss things. The last lesson is set in the days of the Franco-Prussian War, which took place at 1870 and 1871, in which France was defeated by Prussia, led by Bismarck. Bismarck was the person, was the ruler who was leading the area called Prussia, in which France has been defeated. Bismarck has defeated France. Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland, and parts of Austria. You can see that in map. In the story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Prussian hands. The marking by red in map, they are the Alsace and Lorraine. They are the districts of France. They have, as the France has been defeated by Prussia, they have taken up into the hands of Prussia by Bismarck. The story tells about what effect this had on life at school. Because of this war, the consequences of war made some change in the life of children at school. Let's get into the lesson so that we can understand what are the changes we can take in place, which are took place. Okay. Next, second part of the video, that is we'll discuss about author. Before that, I would like to mention the characters involved in this story. Mr. M. Hamel, French language teacher who was teaching French. Next important character called Franz, French boy who is the narrator of this story. Next part is we'll discuss about the author. Alfonso Daudet was the author of this lesson, last lesson. Alphonse was born in 1840 in France. Alphonse Daudet was a French novelist and short story writer, formerly a school teacher, but he quit that job. Because of that, so many people have went into some kind of depression. Why he has left? He quit it to make a living as a journalist in Paris. In order to become journalist, he left the school teacher job. Then he took to writing his poems collected into a volume called Les Amoureuses. His collections together called Les Amorises. That was it is about author. Let's get into explanation, detailed explanation of this and paragraph wise. Okay, in explanation, I'll read out the paragraph and try to find out the difficult words from the paragraph and get into explanation. Means what is the exactly what author would like to tell from that paragraph. Okay, first paragraph. I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of a scolding, especially me because M. Hamel had said that he would question us on participles, and I did not know the first word about them. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright, it was favorable. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open fields back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. It was all much more tempting than the rule for participles, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. See, in this paragraph, the difficult words found are first one, in great dread of, that means fear of. Next word, sawmill, a factory for cutting wood. Next word, drilling, exercising. Next word, tempting, that means attracting. Last word, resist, that means to stay away. See, in this paragraph, author Alphonsus would like to explain like this. The narrator of the story is a young school going boy named Franz. That morning, he was scared as he was late for school. Also, as their teacher M. Hamel had announced the previous day that he would test them on the topic of participles, and Franz did not know anything at all. He was more scared of being scolded. Franz had another option in his mind to miss school and enjoy the day out in the warm and bright weather. He describes the scene. There were birds chirping on the trees, and the noise of Prussian soldiers doing the drill behind the sawmill could also be heard. The scene outside was more attractive than the school, but Franz controlled the temptation and chose to attend the school only. That was a thing was author was explaining in first scene. Okay, let's get to next paragraph. In next paragraph, what he want to tell is, when I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. The last battles, the draft, the orders, of the commanding officer, and I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? Then as I hurried by as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin called after me, don't go so fast, Bub. You will get to your school in plenty of time. I thought he was making fun of me and reached M. Hamel's little garden all out of breath. In this paragraph, the difficult words are bulletin board. Everybody knows. A notice board for putting up the latest news and communication. Next word, apprentice, training. In this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. As Franz walked past the town hall, he noticed a huge crowded notice board. The war with Prussia and had begun 2.5 years ago, and since then all bad news like losing the war, occupation of Alsace and Lorraine by the enemy, that is Prussia, etc., had been communicated to the people through this bulletin board. Franz kept on walking towards the school and thought in his mind that what news could have been put up at the board now? As he walked hurriedly towards the school, the blacksmith, who was also reading the news and had come along with his trainee, called out to Franz, from behind and said that he need not go in such a hurry as there was plenty of time for him to reach school. Franz thought that the blacksmith was making fun of him as he was already late for school. When Franz reached the garden outside the school, he was out of breath as he had walked very fast. That was the explanation is given from this paragraph. Let's get to next paragraph. In next paragraph, usually when school began, there was a great bustle which could be heard out in the street, the opening and closing of desks. Lessons repeated in unison, very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. But now it was all so still. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places, and M. Hamel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. See, the classroom image you can find in the picture also. Commotion in the classroom, how differently disturbances has been taking place, noisy and confusion. Okay, in this paragraph, the difficult words or phrases we can find are a great bustle, that means a lot of noise created by many people, that is happening in classroom. In unison, that means at the same time. Rapping, striking. Next word, counted on, that means depended upon. Commotion, noise and confusion. Last word, blushed. Face turned red in color due to shame. In this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. The Franz describes the usual scene at the school in the morning. A lot of noise created by the moving of desks. Children repeating their lessons and teachers striking the tables with the rulers could be heard. The day was unusual as there was no such sound coming out of the school, and it seemed that the school was closed as it used to be on a Sunday morning. Franz had planned that he would take cover under the commotion and reach the class without being noticed, but that did not seem possible because there was silence. Franz peeped inside the classroom and saw his classmates sitting and M. Hamel and the teacher walking in the class with a ruler made of iron placed under his arm. Franz feared a beating. Franz was ashamed of being late and feared a scolding as he had to enter the classroom in front of everyone. He was ashamed because he was late. That was the explanation given by our author in this paragraph. Let's get into next paragraph, what he was saying in next paragraph. In next paragraph, but nothing happened. M. Hamel saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little Franz. We were beginning without you." I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and a little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on inspection and prize days. You can see that cap in the picture. Besides, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty, the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. Our old Hauser with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor. You can see that the three-cornered hat was which was worn by mayor in this picture, the farmer, postmaster, and several other besides. Everybody looked sad, and Hauser had brought an old primer thumbed at the edges, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. You can see that image in the picture with primer, with hat, that Hauser was opening that primer, old primer. Okay, in this paragraph, you can find difficult words. One is solemn, that means very serious. Second one, primer, basic reader of any language, basic things of any language, that is the primer. Next word, thumbed, that means torn and damaged. The you can see the book which is thumbed, looking like torn and damaged. In this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. Franz found it strange as Hamel did not say anything and, on the contrary, politely asked him to get to his seat as the class was about to begin without him. Franz hurried to his seat. After some time, when he overcome the scare and became comfortable, he noticed that the teacher had worn his best embroidered the day. The teacher normally wore it on occasions like inspection and prize distribution days. Franz wondered if the day was a normal day. Then what could be the reason for M. Hamel to wear his special dress? And also he observed. Franz felt that the atmosphere in the school was unusual and serious. To add to it, the last benches of the classroom were occupied by senior village men. Hauser, who was wearing his three-cornered hat, the retired mayor, postmaster, etc. They were all sitting back benches. They all looked sad. Hauser had brought his reader, which was old and torn. He had opened it, kept it on his knees, and had placed his spectacles on it. That was the explanation given from this paragraph. Let's get to next paragraph. In next paragraph, when I was wondering about it all, M. Hamel mounted his chair and in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive. What a thunderclap these words were to me. The wretches. That was what they had put up at the town hall. Just remembering what was the thing kept in bulletin board. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there. Then, oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs, or going sliding on the Saar. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry. My grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now that I couldn't give up. And M. Hamel too. The idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and his how cranky he was. See, you can see the map where the location has been pointed out by red mark, occupied the districts of Alsace and Lorraine occupied by Prussia. Okay, that means from now onwards, the French language will be removed from this two districts and German will be taught. Okay, new teacher will come. See the difficult words from this paragraph. Grave, that means serious. Second word, thunderclap, used in comparison to refer to someone startling or unexpected. Next word, breches. Here it refers to an unfortunate happening. Next word, Saar, a river which passes through France. Next word, nuisance, that means problem or burden. Next phrase, couldn't give up, that means cannot live. Next word, cranky, that means strange and short tempered. These are the difficult words or difficult phrases we found from this paragraph. From this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. Franz was confused and could not figure out what was happening that day. Just then, M. Hamel told them that it was their last lesson in French. As the Prussians in Berlin ordered that French language would no longer be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine, and the German language be taught instead. The German teacher would arrive the next day, and as this was the last lesson in French, he wanted them to pay attention. Franz was shocked to know that he could not learn French any longer, and now he knew that the latest news that had been put up at the bulletin board of the town hall. Franz regretted for not being serious towards studies and for wasting his time in hunting birds' eggs and playing in the Saar River. Till now, Franz considered his books to be an unwanted burden, but suddenly he starts considering them to be his best friends, whom he could never leave. The writer wants to show the change in Franz's attitude towards study after hearing the news that he could not learn French any longer. The news that their teacher M. Hamel was leaving also had a similar impact on him. Franz did not want him to go away. He no longer thought the teacher to be short-tempered and strict. From this, he has got some change in his mind. Franz got some change in his mind in this paragraph. Okay, this is about the author would like to tell in this paragraph. Let's get into next paragraph. In next paragraph, author is saying like this. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. And now I understood why that old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. Poor man, it was in honor of the last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. And now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. When I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake, but I got mixed up on the first words and stood there holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. In this paragraph, there are difficult words. We can see Sunday clothes. That means the best dress that a person has. Next word, dreadful. That means frightening. Next word, mixed up. That means confused. In this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. Now Franz knew that M. Hamel was wearing his best dress in the honor of this last lesson. He also realized that the village men had come to pay respect and thank M. Hamel for his service of 40 years in the school. The village men had come to the class as they were also repenting for not have studied well in their childhood. They had come to thank their teacher for his 40 years of service as a teacher of French. Also, they wanted to show respect to their country and were sad as their mother tongue French would no longer be taught to them. The teacher calls out to Franz as it is last turn to recite the topic of participles. As the new as the news had impacted Franz, he was eager to study and so he was desperate to show his eagerness. He wanted to be able to recite the topic in one go and without any mistake and please his teacher. His desperation is reflected in his willingness to give away all that he had in return for reciting the lesson well. As Franz did not know the lesson, he got confused and stood quietly. It was showing his respect towards his teacher, M. Hamel. His heart was beating fast as he was ashamed of himself and did not have the courage to face his teacher. It was one side he is feeling ashamed, one side he want to put respect. He's having respect towards teacher. That's why he wanted to tell that lesson. He want to recite that topic, but he could not because he did not learn. That was the thing explained in this paragraph. Let's get into next paragraph. In next paragraph, I heard Miss M. Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little Franz. You must feel bad enough. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, Bah, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. This was the dialogue told by Franz to teacher. And now, you see where we have come out. That's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language, but you are not the worst. Poor little French, we have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. In this paragraph, the difficult words we can find are where we have come out. That means result. Next word pretend. That means show. Next word to reproach. That means blame. From this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. M. Hamel said to Franz that he would not scold him as now he had realized his mistake. Every day Franz told himself that he would study the next day and now the opportunity to study had ended and he knew nothing. M. Hamel says that all the people of Alsace were to be blamed as no one was serious towards learning French language. He tells the class that the enemies, means the Prussians, would laugh at them and say that they only show to be Frenchmen as they can neither speak nor write their own language. They will make you fun of as Frenchmen. He says that why? Because you told to be Frenchman, but you don't speak, don't write. That is only the making fun of them by Prussians. He says that Franz should not feel guilty as everyone is at fault. Finally, he says that little Franz, don't feel ashamed of yourself. Everybody of your class, your village are like that. Don't feel shame. Okay, that was the explanation given by author in this paragraph. Let's get into next paragraph. In next paragraph, your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They prefer to put you to work on farm or at mills so as to have a little more money. And I have been to blame also. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? Then, from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. In this paragraph, the you can see you can see the images over there which are representing that parents are making their children to work in gardens instead of learning French language. In this paragraph, the difficult phrase we can find is at one stroke. That means at once, in one go. Means here, M. Hamel want to tell the lesson at one go. That was the thing. Okay, what author would like to explain from this paragraph? Let us see. M. Hamel says that Fran's parents were not interested in getting him educated. They wanted him to work at a farm or a mill and earn some money. He says that as a teacher, he was also not interested in teaching them. He would send them to his home to water the plants. Sometimes he would declare a holiday and go for fishing. M. Hamel praises their mother tongue as like this French language as being the most beautiful, clearest, most logical language in the world. He tells the class to guard their language as it is the only way to free oneself from the prison of slavery. If a person knows his mother tongue well, no one can enslave him. Knowing the mother tongue well as a language is a tool to fight domination. The teacher took a lesson in grammar that day. That day, Franz was surprised that he understood the lesson with ease. Very easily he understood. He felt that he had been attentive and that M. Hamel also explained the lesson with a lot of patience. Franz felt that the teacher wanted to give them all the knowledge he had before leaving at once, in one go. That was the scene in the classroom on that day. This is the explanation given by author in this paragraph. Let's get into next paragraph. In next paragraph, author would like to tell like this. Let us read the paragraph. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day, M. Hamel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand. France, Alsace, France, Alsace. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom, hung from the rod at the top of our desks. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. Once some beetles flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them, not even the littlest ones who worked right on tracing their fish hooks. As if that was French too. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons. He was thinking about that one. Okay, in this you can observe the Beatles picture in this slide. Okay, the difficult words or phrases from this paragraph are beetles. That means a large sized insects. You can see the image. Not even the littlest ones means refers to the pigeons on the roof. Next phrase is who work right on tracing their fish hooks. That means scratching with their claws. Means the birds are scratching with their claws. Okay, code. That means the sound made by the pigeons. Okay, in this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. After grammar, they had a lesson in writing. M. Hamel gave the class new notebooks with France Alsace beautifully written on them. France felt that here was an air of patriotism in the class. The notebooks were like flags of France that were floating all around. The entire class was busy writing, and only sound that could be heard was that of the pen writing on the papers. Once some beetles, flew into the class, but no one panicked as everyone was busy writing. The writer considers the pigeons sitting on the roof of the class to be students as well as says that even the pigeons were busy scratching the roof with their claws, and it seemed that they were also busy writing the task of French language. The coo sound of the pigeons could be heard in the class, and Franz wondered that would the Prussians force the pigeons also to change their language and coo in German. The writer wants to say that language comes naturally to a being and it cannot be forced upon anyone, be it the pigeons or the Frenchmen. The language will come from inner side. It cannot be from our other side, outside. You cannot change the language of birds. Same way, you cannot change the language of Frenchmen also. Next paragraph. In next, whenever whenever I looked whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in great little school room. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him, just like that. Only the desks and benches had been worn smooth. The walnut trees in the garden were taller, and hopevine that he had planted himself twined about the window to the roof. How it must have broken his heart to leave it all, poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. See, you can see the image Hopewine twisted, which is planted by him long back. How he can get change in mind to leave that place. In the next image, you can see luggage has been packed by his sister in the room. Okay, in this paragraph, the difficult words we can find gazing, that means looking intently. Next phrase is fix in his mind, store or keep forever. Next one is worn smooth, that means had worn out and became smooth due to overuse. Twined, that means twisted, that is Hopewine has been twisted. Here in the last image you can see the package that says that must leave the country next day. In this paragraph, the writer, our author, Alphonsus, would like to tell like this. In between writing, Franz looked at M. Hamel, who sat still and stared at the different things in the classroom in succession as if he wanted to memorize the appearance of everything before leaving. M. Hamel had been teaching at that same place for last 40 years. The only changes were that the desks in the classroom had worn out due to use over the years. The walnut trees in the garden outside had grown taller. The hopvine on the outer wall of the school building had climbed up to the roof. Franz feels that the teacher must be heartbroken to be sent away from a place where he had spent 40 years of his life. The noises of his sister packing the luggage and moving their luggage could be heard from the room upstairs as they had to leave the next day. The packing sound reminding them to leave the country next day. Get into next paragraph. In next paragraph, author would like to tell like this. I'll read out the paragraph. But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in history, and then the babies chanted their baby bobo. Down there at the back of the room, older Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotion. And it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. Ah, how well I remember it, that last lesson. All at once the church clock struck 12. Then the Angelus. At the same moment, the trumpets of the Prussians returning from drill sounded under our windows. M. Hamel stood up, very pale in his chair. I never saw him looks so tall. In this paragraph, the difficult words which you can find, they are Angelus. In second part of this paragraph, Angelus, that means prayer sung in the church. The start in marked by ringing the bell. Next word is trumpets, a musical instrument. Next word is pale, used to describe a person's face or skin if it has less color than usual. See the images also. Hauser was just looking into the book and crying, and the church striking at 12, and trumpets of soldiers of Prussians returning from drill. Okay, in this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. M. Hamel remained composed and heard the lesson from the entire class. After the writing task, there was a lesson of history followed by phonetics, where they recited the sounds of alphabets. Franz referred to the class as babies because although they were grown up, they were reciting the lesson of phonetics, which is usually done by younger children. The sounds like ba, be, bi, bo, boo. So he calls himself as his class to be babies. Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding the primer in both his hands, recited the letters with the class. He was crying. His voice trembled as he spoke. Franz had mixed feelings. He found it funny to see how an old man like Hauser was crying and trembling, and on the other hand, he was also felt emotional like Hauser did. Franz could never forget his last lesson. See, the Franz he could able to observe Hauser was crying. At just then the clock at the church struck 12 and the prayer song began. At the same moment, the sound of the trumpets played by the Prussian soldiers who were returning from the drill was heard. M. Hammel's face became dull and colorless as the time had come for the class to get over. He stood straight and motionless, and Franz says that he had never appeared to be so tall. That was the explanation given in this paragraph. Let's get into next paragraph. In next paragraph, my friends, said he, but something choked him. He could not go on. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could. What is that? Vive France. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word, he made a gesture to us with his hand. What is that? School is dismissed. Dismissed. You may go now. In this picture also you can see that the last words written by M. Hamel on board saying bye bye. Okay. Difficult words are choked. That means became unable to speak due to strong emotions. Gesture, a signal. In this paragraph, author would like to explain like this. This is the last scene of the lesson. M. Hamel began to speak but could not continue as he was overpowered by his emotions. He took a piece of chalk and wrote the words Vive la France. That means long live France on the blackboard as large as he could. You can see the same thing in the picture also. He was writing, he has written the words Vive la France in as large as he could write on blackboard. That means, what does it mean? Long live France. After that, he has shown a signal that school is dismissed. You can leave. Then he stopped writing, bent towards the wall, and without speaking anything, signaled the class to leave as the class is over. That is the end of the lesson. Okay, let's briefly summarize the story. Let's summarize the story. Okay, the story is narrated by French boy called Franz. He is lazy but sensitive and likes to play. He dislikes studying French and hates his teacher M. Hamel. After overpowering the districts of Alsace and Lorraine in France, Berlin has ordered the German language instead of French to be taught in the schools there. It is the last day of their French teacher M. Hamel, who has been there for 40 years. He is full of grief, nostalgia and patriotism. As a mark of respect to his hard work, the village men also attend his last lesson. They are sad as they did not learn their mother tongue, French, in their childhood. Franz is shocked to know that it's his last lesson as he does not know French. Now, suddenly, he gets interested in learning it and understands everything taught on the day. He develops an instant liking for the teacher, M. Hamel, and respects him for his sincerity and hard work. He feels sad at departing from him and is ashamed for not being able to recite the lesson of participles. M. Hamel tells them that they are all at fault for not being eager enough to learn, putting it off to the next day. He blames himself for not teaching them sincerely. His patriotism is reflected in his praise for the French language as being the most beautiful and most logical language in the world. He tells the class to guard their language as being close to one's language is the key to escape from the prison of slavery. It will help them in getting free from the Germans. They realize the importance of language, their mother tongue, and that they have been defeated by Germans because of their illiteracy. France feels that it is not possible to take away one's language from a person as it is as it is natural to each being, may it be the coup to the pigeons or French to the Frenchmen. Nobody can take away their language. That was the summary given by author Alphonsus from his lesson called The Last Lesson. With this, we will conclude the lesson that shows this is the end of the lesson. Hope you have understood the last lesson written by Alphonsus Daudet. Till next video, keep learning, keep practicing. Bye bye.